My dog Paula wanted to join us on the video, and I want to introduce you to the letter of the week. I spoke to a lot of your teachers and they all told me the letter of the week they were going to use if you were in school was the letter N. So we're going to make our activities be around the letter N. Okay with you, Paula? Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is to write the letter N. Okay. Ready? All right, so the letter N. I'm going to put a happy face right here because remember we always try to start at the top. When making a capital letter N, you want to go from the smiley face straight down. And this is one of those times where you get to lift your pen or pencil or crayon. Go back up to the smiley face, and this time we're going to make a diagonal line. Don't let go, don't lift your pen, and we're going to go straight up. So one more time, that's straight down, lift your pen, diagonal, and straight up. I'm going to show that to you in another color just so you can see it a little darker. There's my happy face. Straight down, lift your pen or pencil, diagonal, and straight up. There's our capital letter N. I want you to practice this several times. Straight down, diagonal, straight up. Straight down, diagonal, straight up. Now for a lowercase n, we're going to start at the halfway point. So I'm going to put my happy face right here. We're going to go straight down, do not lift your pen, and this time we're going to go like we're going for a dive off a diving board, around and straight back down. So let me show that to you again. We're going to go, here's my happy face, we're going to go down, back up around like you're diving in, and straight down. Let me show that to you in another color. We're going to go straight down, then we're going to go back up like we're diving and straight back down again. Lowercase n. Now when you're making your N's, do not go like this. You don't want any space. Sorry. You don't want any space between your straight down and your around. You want it to be super close together like this with just a tiny little gap in between. And try to make, when you're coming down from your N, try to make it a straight line down, not a curved line down. Oh, that's not my best N, and that's not my best N. Practice making your capital and lowercase n's. Now, we're going to be writing a letter today, and I figure every Monday we can write a letter to our teacher. So last week I wrote to Miss Doe over at Mabel Payne Elementary, and today I'm going to be writing to Mrs. Dominguez over at Glen Knoll Elementary. You're going to write to your teacher. Let's get started. We're going to start with Dear and your teacher's name. Dear Mrs. Dominguez. Last week I had fun. I walked, oops, I forgot I walked with my son and my dogs. I had an exercise class in the street with my neighbors. We stayed far apart and danced to loud music. I hope you are having fun. And that's all I'm going to write. Make sure you end it with love and your name. And now I've got to draw. Well, since I talked about walking my dogs with my son and I talked about an exercise class with my neighbors, I think I'll do a picture of me. I'm just going to do stick figures. I don't have to do too much detail. My son And our dogs, he had 2 dogs on a leash, and I had one dog that's very slow, so he actually walked behind me. So I have Poppy, kind of looks like a cat, sorry guys. And he had Paula, who you just saw, and Chilla, and we were all walking in our neighborhood. So I'm going to draw this and this. This was the sidewalk we were on, and maybe a tree in the background, and definitely some clouds in the sky. Make your picture detailed. Your teacher wants to see what you're doing. She wants to see if you had fun. There's the street. We were not walking in the street. So now I got to color mine in. Remember to do your very best color. You know Miss Mary says no scribble scrabble. Oh, this is a good blue color. So actually it's a green color. Oops. I'll have to color my tree green and then go back and color my sky blue. Oh, much better sky color. Even though I'm going super fast, I'm trying my hardest not to scribble scrabble. You guys should try your hardest too. Make your picture neat and pretty for your teacher, and remember, you can take a picture of it and Mom can send it to their email address. You will so make your teachers happy if you do that. Let's see. My dogs are all yellowish tan, all of them. So I'm going to color them super quick. And let's see, they've got a little bit of brown in them too, so I'll do a little bit of brown over the top to change their color a little bit. Yep, that looks a little bit more like them. Color my tree trunk. And I'm going to put a dark blue shirt on my son. And I'll put a pink top on me. And let's see, I think we were both wearing blue jeans, so I'll put some blue jeans on us. Not totally perfect, but it works. It was cold, so I know we were wearing long pants. And let me get my skin colored in and his skin colored in. Real soft with an orange crayon just to give us some color. And let's see if I can find one more color and then I will be done with this picture. Of course, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. I was looking for black. I got to color in the street. I want to make this as neat as I can for Mrs. Dominguez. She's going to love it. She knows I've got 3 dogs. There we go. Oh, middle of the road. Those dots are always yellow. And I think I'm done with my picture. So every Monday we're going to send a letter to your teacher letting them know what you're doing and brightening their day. Alright, all this week I figured I would read the same story over and over again. Sounds weird? Well, I chose a really good story. You all know the story of the 3 little pigs. Well, it just so happens I have 5 different books, and every time I read it, it's going to be a little different. Today I'm going to be reading The 3 Little Wolves and The Big Bad Pig. That sounds a little different. Once upon a time there were 3 cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first 2 was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. One day Mother called the 3 little wolves around her and said, "My children, it's time for you to go out in the world. Go out and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother, we'll look out for him," said the 3 little wolves, and off they set. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Would you please give us some of your bricks?" asked the 3 little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The 3 little wolves were playing croquet in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, "Little wolves, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the 3 little wolves. "By the hair on our chitty chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. big pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his sledgehammer and knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled. And they were very frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete. "Please, would you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house out of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecocks in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and shut the door. The pig rang the bell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair in our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched a drill and smashed the house down. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling and trembling. "We shall build an even stronger house," they said, because they were very determined. Just then they saw a truck coming along the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armored plates, and heavy metal padlocks. "Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars and armored plates, and some heavy metal padlocks?" they said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. "Sure," said the rhinoceros, and he gave them plenty. And he also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains, because he was a generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house one could possibly imagine. They felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the wolves. "By the hair in our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china pot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He rented a crane, drove it to the house, swung the wrecking ball as high as it could go, and he demolished the house. The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails flattened. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "We'll have to try something different." "But what?" At that moment they saw a flamingo, Miss Mary's favorite animal. They saw a flamingo coming along pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Will you please give us some flowers?" asked the wolves. "With pleasure," said the flamingo, and he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house out of flowers. One wall was of marigolds, one of daffodils, one of pink roses, and one of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor was a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub and buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was still beautiful. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of flowers that the three little wolves had built. He rang the blue bell at the door and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins and the flattened tails, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair in our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our china pot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. But as he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and another. And instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender and he realized how horrible he had been. Right then he decided to become a big, good pig. He started to sing and dance. At first the three little wolves were a bit worried. It might be a trick. But soon they realized that the pig had truly changed, so they came running out of the house. They started playing games with him. First they played pig pog, then piggy in the middle, and when they were tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. Pig accepted, and they all lived happily together ever after. I bet you weren't expecting that to be the end of the story. That's pretty cool. All right, since we're still in the month of March, we're still working on the number 7. And parents, I wanted to show you this. I just used it with the letter N. It is just that white piece of paper in the Ziploc baggie. I wrote some really big lines for the kids to practice. This is good. Make it large. Don't make it too small. They're still learning letters, and we want them to write it large. It really does help to build muscle memory. So when we make the paper smaller in kinder and first grade and so on, they will at least have the steps on how to make it already done. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do our number 7. Number 7 on the dotted paper. Here's my smiley face. We're going to start and go across and then down at a diagonal. Remember how I said this had to be longer than the top. It's coming pretty close. Maybe I should make my top a little shorter. We'll go like that and then do our diagonal. Oh, that's looking like a better 7. So you want to make a short top and a nice long diagonal. Your diagonal and your top should be pretty close to each other. You can see right here that they are pretty close. They're almost a straight line. You don't want to make it like this because then it stops being a 7. And you don't want to make it like this because then it almost looks like a weird 1. So make sure that when you make your 7 that you go across the top and diagonal and that you end pretty close to where you started. Like this. Try a few lines of 7s and have your mom circle what she thinks is your best 7 and you circle what you think is your best 7. Well, last Monday we made edible Play-Doh. I still have some of mine left. I've been nibbling on it. Hope you have been too. Today, I can't always guarantee we're going to make something in the kitchen on Mondays, but I'm going to try. So before we work in the kitchen, we should always wash our hands. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves and come over to the sink. Yes, you're going to see Miss Mary's breakfast dishes. I didn't have time to do my dishes yet, but that's okay. Grab some hand soap, grab a lot, not just a little, and start rubbing. Go between our fingers, go to the back, get all the way around your thumb, get your wrists. I'm going to give myself some water and scrub some more. Oh, I haven't been singing, but I wonder if it's been 20 seconds yet. Maybe I should do Baby Shark. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark. I think that's probably enough since I was talking. Let me rinse all that off. And grab a towel. Now that your hands are clean, we can work in the kitchen. And today, parents, we're going to make something that is really messy, but it cleans up really easily. It's basically just powder and water, and when it dries out, it goes back to the powder, washes out of everything. And if you don't have the materials, well, if you don't have the one material, it's something that you will find in grocery stores. I've been to a couple stores this weekend, and I've always seen some. So the recipe is cornstarch and water. That's it. If you have any older kids in the household, you're going to want them to look up something called a non-Newtonian fluid, because that's what we're making. Middle and high school students can research what this is, but basically it's a solid on its own, and when it gets any heat, it turns into a liquid. The heat from your hand is enough to turn it into a liquid. When you pour it back into a colder surface, it will turn back into a solid. So we're going to splash. I'm already making a mess. We're going to splash some corn syrup in. There's really no recipe. And then I'm going to pour. You do not want to pour a whole bunch of water. So you want to pour a little bit. And I'm going to grab a spoon for this and mix it up. You can already see that my spoon is having a tough time getting through the cornstarch, and that's the texture you want. If I pick some up, you'll see that it turns into a liquid and will go through my hands. I may need a little more water. So let me pour some more in here, and we'll mix it up some more. Oobleck is just kind of a recipe that you know by feel. You can feel when you have the right amount of cornstarch and water, because like I said, it'll be a solid on the surface, and when it gets to your hands, it will turn into a liquid. You can see quite easily that this has a hard chunk right here, but the rest of it has just the right amount of water because it's turning into a liquid in my hand. Kids will love it. Really easy to clean up. My suggestion for trying to contain it is to get a big bowl or a cooking pan like I have right here and to try to tell the kids to keep it in there. Preschool's fun. They should have some time where they're just having fun. What I like about this is, oh, I think I've pretty much reached it. It's looking like a solid right now, but if I put my hand in it and I press my hand down, it should go all the way down to the cookie sheet, and when I lift it really quickly, you'll be able to see my hand. Well, you almost saw my hand. They can practice writing their letters and numbers. I'm going to try making a 7. Not really going fast enough here. But they can still try the process. They're going to feel resistance from the oobleck when they put their hand in there because it is a solid until their hand touches it. Lots of fun. My son played with this for hours when he was a little kid. He did get covered in it. They will start to put it all over their bodies. Although, guys, don't do that. But like I said, it's really easy to clean up. This can be something you can play with right before bath time if you want to make it now and put it away. Let them have some fun with it. If they want to add some food coloring, I'm just going to put a drop in. We'll see what happens. If my food coloring will come out. Huh. Could be my food. Up there. Ooh, that's a big dot. All right, well, I put a big blob in there, and now I'm going to use my spoon and see what happens. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm making some art here. So try different things. You can add glitter to it. Don't add sprinkles from cakes because they will dissolve since it is a liquid at some point. But yeah, you can do some really cool things. You can even stick this in a baggie if you want, if you really want to contain the mess. Put the food coloring in and then zip up the baggie and have the kids mix it from the outside. Although personally, I think a little mess is totally fine. It's supposed to be raining at some point today, so maybe have them do the oobleck and then stand out in the rain. Rinse themselves off. So you can see I've added the food coloring in here. It will start to get crumbly the more the kids play with it because their hands will absorb the moisture. Cool thing about oobleck is that you just add some more water and you're good to go again. So I've been playing with this, definitely liquidy. Definitely fun to play with, both a solid and a liquid. Right now it's a little too liquidy because of the food coloring. If I wanted to reverse that, I would just add some more cornstarch. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it, let my hands absorb some of the moisture. This is oobleck. It's a lot of fun. So now we're down to our website for the day, and I chose YouTube. But in addition to just saying YouTube, because there's so much to look for, including Miss Mary's Place, I figured I would include the things that your children use every day in class. The Macarena months with Dr. Jean, they have to do every day. And they'll teach you the dance to it. It's a lot of fun. Days of the Week song with Martin and Rose Music is exactly the song they use, and they do those every single day. These 4 songs, they switch off and do one a day every day. So Who Let the Letters Out, Letter Size, Letter Dance, and Alphabet in My Mouth are different songs they can sing with you. These are very important because preschoolers are asked to identify the letters and their sounds. And these different songs give them the daily practice they need to be able to accomplish that. I also recommend Go Noodle Songs on YouTube. There are lots of them and the kids really love them. Cosmic Kids Yoga. I know some preschool teachers use this, not all, but it's actually fun. It's geared toward kids and it's a very good exercise program. Storyline Online. The kindergarten classes use these and they're great stories told by all kinds of celebrities, so you'll enjoy them too. Super simple songs. Not every preschool classroom uses them, but some do. They're very easy to remember. Every single one of them is great. You can look up super simple songs on the weather, on holidays, on letters, on colors, shapes, vehicles, insects, you name it. And then the kids will love this. Every classroom I've been in, the teachers do a short video on Storybots when they're talking about a letter, like the letter N for this week. But this one, Storybots A through Z by K-Team, has all 26 videos. The kids will love it, trust me. And once again, I'm going to ask that you, I forgot to mention this before, you send me the letter N words that you find in your house. Today I found Nutella, and I found our number of the day and our letter of the day. I found 7 nickels. I'm going to add those to my N chart. And if you put in the comments the objects you find in your house that begin with the letter N, I'll add them to my chart. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.